Hello, it's the morning of October 14th, 2024. I'm 14 days into carnivore, and I thought I had a lot to say, even though my last update says was 4 days ago. I wanted to keep updating things as I'm in the beginning of this, and a lot of people are curious what happens in the beginning of switching over, and I've had a lot of things happen, so I wanted to tell you about them. Yesterday I ate my first time out. I had a short video on that, and I just had 3 burger patties. They seemed really clean to me. I had eaten a lot yesterday, which tends to kind of slow down my gallbladder and my digestion and give me a little bit of sinus problems. So I did have a little bit of that yesterday, but by this morning, it's a holiday, so I was laying in bed a little bit later. My body was I just noticed it was so peaceful and still, and my muscles and joints were aching the last couple days because Friday afternoon into evening and Saturday morning I did this marathon with the weed whacker. I have a bunch of areas that I just have to whack down a few times a year, and I was just going crazy with it, which is also something because normally I wouldn't work that much. So I have more energy and more drive, I would say, than energy, but more energy too. But yeah, all that, not all of it. I still have a little bit of neck issue from holding out, in front of me with the heavy weed whacker. But it just all came down, the inflammation in my body this morning. My sinuses were clearer, my head was peaceful and still. I do this thing every morning where I go into the fetal position I put my head in my hands and face down, knees in front of me, and it feels really good on my whole body and on my back. But normally it's a little bit of a challenge on my knees and on my lower back. Well, that was significantly, almost not even a problem this morning. So saying all this because I'm really excited about the progress that I see, and it's inspiring me to move further into a stricter carnivore or more elimination diet, towards more of a lion diet, but not there yet. My goal, this is the progress. Let me summarize first. The goal would be to move towards a lion diet by November 1, which is about 15 days. Or earlier. Because I say that because I've easily started dropping things out of my diet, because once I went more towards carnivore and then ate things that I used to eat and not think about them at all, it's very easy to notice something that bothers you. It seems to bother the body much more, or maybe you just notice it because you've been feeling so good. So this has been my progression. In August, my wife started talking about she was going to do 30 days carnivore, and I said I'm in. So I started eating a lot more animal foods in August and a lot less carbs, but I still had carbs, I still had raw milk, I still had vegetables at times. That was August. September, I moved more towards a stricter carnivore, but I did have carbs in the first few days up to the first week, and I think that was it. But we also decided together that we were going to still include these things: meat, seafood, raw butter, raw egg yolks, or with the whites, but mostly I have it without the whites. Raw milk, usually sour, yogurt, raw cheese, raw heavy cream. I was doing still bee pollen and propolis and honey mixture. Onions and garlic, mushrooms, seaweed snacks. This was September. My hair mineral analysis supplements. Vitamin C with bioflavonoids, which I'm still doing. Propolis capsules, which I'm not. Mustard, stone ground, horseradish, electrolytes. I was doing a little bit of MCT oil, and I think that's it. There was something else I was thinking of. And spices, that's what it is. I didn't write that down. We were doing some spices. Well, since October 1, I've dropped out the raw milk. I've had very little yogurt, maybe once, but I'm not against yogurt. I'm going to try that again. I've had raw cheese still. I have had no raw heavy cream, or very little. I don't know if I'm going to keep that. I dropped out the bee pollen, dropped out the onions and the garlic, the mushrooms, seaweed snacks, dropped them out, dropped out supplements other than vitamin C. I'm not taking the hair mineral analysis stuff and the propolis, no mustard, horseradish. And the spices, I wanted to say, let's talk about reactions so far since I've been going, since I'm in carnivore. The first reaction I had was spices. I had all this chicken that I did a short on that was heavily spiced, and I had a big reaction to that. Joints and muscle problems, and stomach. My stomach bothered me, and the gut. And then it was like the next day or a day after that, I had a bunch of cottage cheese, really clean, chemical-free cottage cheese from the farm. I'm not sure how they prepare it, but it did not seem to bother me a week ago when I had it again. But as things clear out, you notice things more because you're getting cleaner. And this time, the cottage cheese, I noticed when I ate it, it was, that milky, cheesy taste that just seemed to me maybe too sugary. I don't know. I don't know how they prepare it. Maybe it's heated. So what happened? Oh, all night I was really stuffed up. I didn't sleep very well, and I was snoring. My wife told me I was snoring very loudly. So I was like, okay, boom, it's out. It was so easy. I'm not missing these things at all. I was so grateful. I'm so grateful to God for showing me and releasing me from these things that obviously were causing me problems. If they caused that in one time, what were they doing when I was eating them all the time? It's so great. This is so great. It makes it so easy when you eliminate down to this carnivore thing. I really like the elimination aspect, and that's why I feel like I'm moving towards more of a lion diet. But in the meantime, my plan, which could change, but my plan for the next half month is to continue with meat, seafood, raw butter, raw egg yolks or whole eggs, and I believe I'm going to cut out the raw cheese. I've kind of made that decision, but I'm not sure about it yet until the end of the month. It's definitely coming out before the new month. No spices, no cottage cheese, no milk, nothing like that. Just meat, seafood of all kinds. But mostly I'm doing fatty ground beef from the farm with all the fat in, and fatty ground lamb from the farm. Steaks, done some seafood. Quite a bit of seafood lately. We had oysters steamed the other day. I had clams, I think it was. Before that, or mussels. A few days before that, I plan to have shrimp sometime soon. Just for the diversity, to make this a little fun going in before I go more strict, I think is really, but it's good for you too, I think. So let's see. I did also have, I wanted to update you on this. I've had dreams. I think it was last month. I had a dream that I was drinking coffee, which I haven't had in over a year, which was very interesting to me. I feel like I had kind of dreams like this when I stopped different other drugs like alcohol. I have a dream that I'm drinking alcohol and that I would wake up all disappointed that I went back, and then I realized I didn't, which is nice. I had the same feeling when I dreamt about coffee. Also, in the last week, had a dream about eating chocolate cake, which I haven't had in a year or more than a year maybe. I think I dropped that at the same time as coffee, but maybe had one piece of it last year. And then chips and dip was a couple nights ago, like tortilla chips with some kind of yummy dip. And it wasn't even really that good in the dream. It was just average, which I'm noticing it tends to be. I don't miss that stuff. I really don't miss it. I'm not tempted that much at all with sweets or carbs. When I think about it, even just now, when I think about the sweets, I feel this like sugar problem. My body feels it even though I'm not eating it. I feel it in my teeth. I feel it in my mouth, like that. Sugar, carbs. Brain, and the brain thing that it does. It's immediately like this foggy, weird brain thing. Distance, I would say, instead of clarity. I'm finding a lot of clarity, calmness, peacefulness, and a lot less anxiety. Even though I'm not a really anxious person, I noticed that I have none, or very little. I'm sure I can go further into this, but just a very great, calm, still, solid feeling in the body and in the brain. And that's my update for today. Have a great day.